Hello, everybody. My name's Anthony, and I'm here to talk to you about a few things today. We talked about the last time, we talked about the body. What is the body, mind, and spirit is what we come down to. That's what it does come down to. And what energy level are you at? What energy level are you at? That has a lot to do with how we do anything in life. I've learned that over the past few months, or the past few years, rather, going through cancer and that type of stuff. But with my brother Frank, in regards to his death, is really what I'm talking about in this third episode of how I move forward in spiritual work without a sense of knowing that was even going to happen. I had no idea what I was getting into. But I think I was already opened up to this because of my what do you call the fact that I was already doing body work. So, and what I realized from all of that is, you learn about the body by touching the body. And as a body worker, I started to learn when I did certain things by holding a person's head at the head of the table and just letting them relax and feeling the energy coming out of them. And what was it hitting? It was hitting my heart chakra. So constantly I was being hit with people's energy, which was actually activating me. It was very interesting how I figured that out. But so in observing Frank and watching him transition from life and death and observing the physical release of life and watching him move from one place to the other, it really gave me this sense of curiosity, wonder, mysteriousness. And I wanted to know more about what happened because I felt like clueless about what was going on. And what it did for me is it opened me to a new level of energy, movement, spiritual healing, which I never looked at, never in my life. And it made me think, what happened? Because, one minute you're looking at the person, the next minute he's gone. And there is a profound difference between seeing somebody in their body and then seeing them gone. And you know what it is as soon as you look at them. Even whether their eyes are open or closed, it's like the shell of the body, like the body was the container. And something's missing. And you can tell that immediately. And so what I also notice is when any type of healing is happening, there's a certain type of physical exhaustion. That happens. I move my arms around a lot. I'm free flowing. Anyway, I realized that the energy and the bandwidth that the body needs in order to explore and to heal, because, when you go through grief, I don't know about you, but if I cry or if I am having heavy emotion, it releases that sadness. Those tears are a way to release those emotions, and it's okay to have them. Sometimes I'm watching a movie and all of a sudden I get triggered, and next thing you know, I'm in this state of just crying over what happened in the movie, but it really wasn't what happened in the movie. It's really about something that's connected to you. That's what I've learned. It's never about what you think it is. It's always something different. So in the sense of healing in the realms that I've worked in, what I realize is that, you know, the work that I've done, because so after my brother died, I went through this terrible, terrible depression. And, you know, I was going to Al-Anon and going to some therapy. I wasn't doing a lot. But what I realized is that, you know, this woman kept inviting me to her drumming circle. That's what it was. And I thought, you know what? I don't know. It sounds kind of weird. I think I had already started learning Reiki too. So I was already way open to all this energy and what was going on with my body. And as a matter of fact, I just thought of this. One of my somatic entrances into the Reiki, I remember when I first got attuned, and I had like 6 or 8 people holding energy on me, and I was like, oh my God. So I started having this crying spell, and it was like just going through me. I felt like I was plugged into an electric outlet of a electric socket, and then this energy was shooting up and down my body. And I felt like, I guess I was connected to what's called the Kundalini energy. But I saw it as a awakening and actually it was a very loving thing, and it was done with what I call Mary energy, or the feminine energy. And it was a very beautiful thing. Anyway, so Reiki was going on. I was already open to that. So then I have this drumming. I go to this drumming circle with this woman who kept inviting me. And I just kept saying, okay, okay. So eventually I went. And, you know, drumming in the Native American realm, it's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. And it's done in every culture. There's shamans in every culture. And the shaman is there for the family to heal. Every clan or every tribe has their own shaman, and they all get to know everybody and what they need. And so that it's such a different way that we do things today. You know, we go to our primary care doctor. Does he know what spiritual healing you need? No, but that's mostly what he's going to be dealing with, even though he doesn't realize it. Because all of the other manifestations, your physical manifestations, are part of the spiritual, what needs healing. So in guiding the spiritual energy also is finding a power animal, finding an animal that can help you understand or help you heal in that place where you're at. So a power animal for me is really important. And not just that, but to be able to understand it and see what it's doing. So as I started to do that work with my brother, what I realized is the first time I journeyed, or the second time, I can't remember, but it was very similar. And because I wanted to know what happened to him, what happened to Frank, where is he, what happened, and is he okay? And my experience it blew me away. Number one, I got a lion as my first animal. And it was like powerful. It was like, I mean, the lion I'm talking with the big mane, and the ones from Africa, that lion. And it was amazing. Okay. So then we had to ask for a spirit in human form. So I asked for the human form, spirit in human form. And then I got I wasn't going to even talk about this, but I am now. Um, I got a woman from like the 18th or 19th century looking, and she sort of looked like a nurse. I'm not sure. But she had this crown of fire in her head. I mean, you can't make up this stuff. I mean, I was like, whoa. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm just seeing this, I'm going with it. And I said, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to heal me? And she reaches out of this crown of fire coming out of her head and then takes some of it out, and I'm holding my hands out like cupped like that, and then she puts it into my hands, and immediately I felt this burning going into my hands and shooting through me, through my body, like upper body, and just going out, like coming up and going out. And it was like, whew, I was hot. I could feel very hot and warm. And it was amazing. I mean, I had an amazing experience with it. And I felt really blessed. And we took a break. And so then I did ask, I wanted to ask another question. After watching my brother die, I said, I need to know, is he all right? Is he okay? What's happened to him? And I just want to feel like that he's safe. And I also learned to do a spiritual affirmation for myself, because this was all new to me. I was doing Reiki and shamanic work at the same time, two different types of energy work. One was taking you way out of your body. One was done while you're in your body. So they're two different ways, but similar results. Anyway, the affirmation I used was, I'm grounded and protected and supported in my spiritual exploration. I am grounded and supported in my spiritual exploration. So knowing that I was going to be okay, and no matter what was going on, right? And that profound spiritual connection that happened was amazing, because the next thing I asked was, are you okay? Frank, are you okay? And I saw him in this different light. I saw him as a spirit entity, and I saw him as a woman, not as a man. And or maybe a very feminine man. I'm not even sure. Anyway, he had this beautiful thing over his head and around him, and it was like crowns or or some kind of costume of diamonds, rubies, and emeralds, and it was shimmering and shining, and it was mesmerizing, actually. Brilliant, just beyond what anything you could explain, like a bright, shining light, but in all of these little diamonds and emeralds and jewels. And, you know, I also learned that, am I seeing these things? Am I hallucinating? Am I going schizo? What is happening? And what I realized is that my validation was always like, if I felt it, a lot of times I confirmed it with other people, like the woman running the circle, or other people, to see what they got and to compare, because you want to find out what's going on, especially when you really don't even know because you never did it. But I learned about trusting my inner visual and intuitive sense, because if I was seeing it and I was feeling it, and it was feeling, there was some somatic connection to my body, it was happening. It validated that connection with my physical reality. So one of my affirmations for that is, I trust my intuitive insights and the authentic signs I receive from the universe, which something that none of us are taught that. I trust my intuitive insights and authentic signs I receive from the universe. And that is another thing. Whenever you're looking for information for yourself or anybody else, you have a prayer, that is your intention, is to find out, how do I need to find this information? Number one, what is the information I need? How do I need to find it? And how can I be sure that this is the way I need to see it or get it or feel it? You have to ask in a way that you're going to know, that something that gives you your spiritual sign. Maybe it's a bird flying by. Maybe it's a leaf dropping in front of your window. Maybe it's, I don't know, somebody you see somewhere in a store pops up out of nowhere and talks about something similar than what you're talking, when you're thinking about, or what this idea is you're looking for. Those are the points of synchronicity, or where it connects. So alignment with that space is important, and to know where it's going to come from, to say, you know what, this is how I need it. I need it to come to me in this visual form, through another human being, or I need it to come to me in a phone call. Whatever works. I don't know what it is for everybody, but it's all different. So what works for you is yours. We all have different ways of understanding spirit within. But the true healing happens in this, what I call neutral space. That physical moment, and it's the physical moment here, between here, the spiritual realm. There's something in between that. And that is that area we reach. And that's what I realized during most of my healing sessions. My job was not to heal them. My job was to get them to a neutral state and to allow them to relax enough to where they felt safe, they felt comfortable, and they felt like either sharing, going to sleep, or whatever it was that happened. But during that time, I saw things, I felt things, I got information out of them, and I wasn't even trying to. I just started getting visuals. But by listening to your inner guidance and stepping into the quiet space of your intentions, that's where we form the focus and in clarity. And that's our path of service. That's how we find what we have to do. So the affirmation that I cultivate, I try to cultivate, doesn't always happen, is the inner stillness, and knowing that my intentions create the foundation for my healing. I was listening to, I think, Gary Zukav the other day talking about this, and how that we're all path creators. And that's another reason I'm talking about this, is because the spiritual healing of watching my brother die and how it relates to this, it's about what pushed me forward, how I had to go through this, learning through drumming, through Reiki, through shamanic work, and to let go of the chronic suffering, because we don't have to do it. We don't have to be in pain all the time. And sometimes moving past the muck and the crap and the junk in our lives, and the illness that we get because of it, it puts us in this vulnerable state. So we have to depend on more community, more support systems. It sure the hell did that to me when going through cancer, because I couldn't do it. I tried to do my healing for myself, and it wouldn't work. It was like to try to get my animals, to try to do my records, to try to do my own healing with, I couldn't do it. I had no energy. I had no bandwidth for it. So mind, body, and spirit has to be well and has energy in order to be able to do that and move forward. So And the other thing I've learned over the years is when I can't do it alone, I need help. Seeking help through therapy, a psychotherapist, a dream therapist, a Reiki, a shamanic, whatever it is, wearing that program or healing network. Could be an Al-Anon program, it could be your therapy, it could be your spiritual work. It helps pull us out of the isolation, which then opens up the spirit, right? So that we can feel that connection with other people that are in the same pain. And the affirmation for that is I embrace, support, and I choose to reach out rather than carry my burdens alone. It is so much easier to carry the burdens with others because a lot of times we find they all have them too. We're all in the same boat, really. And that's where that saying comes from. We're all in the same boat trying to figure it out. But that's how we learn. And that's what I learned from my brother dying, is that we already are getting the information. The information is coming in if we're receptive. The lesson that's already being taught is in front of us. It already usually happens before we know it. And accepting the thought of today where I'm at without judging myself or somebody else, what is right in front of me, instead of rushing ahead. And I think that is why I'm focusing on living beyond survival, because it all goes back to this. It all goes back to surviving. For me, I learned how to survive as a kid. I learned how to take care of myself in every way because I felt so much abandonment, so much not getting the guidance I needed, so much pain. So I know when a lot of people talk about family, it's about love. For me, it was not always about love. It was about fear, anxiety, depression, mental health issues with my mother, mental health issues with my father because of PTSD. And all of that gets transferred onto us, the kids, not wanting it, not really saying, oh, I need some of that. Who wants it? None of us really want it. But it's the gift that happens as a result of being around the environment and being conditioned by them. And, now that I keep looking back sometimes, but I do say, I don't hate them. I love them for who they were, but I realize also they did not have the guidance to give me. Otherwise, they would have. So they get off the hook for that, but they're still on the hook for, I still put them on the hook for, I still didn't get what I need, but I can't really blame them. So, there's this back and forth of they did the best they could, and I didn't get what I need, but they did the best they could. Well, I don't really care, but we do. So I guess it gets, when I guess, like I'm in the process of still doing that. So, if you're in the process of it, you can't have it resolved. That's just how life is sometimes. Sometimes we're just in the middle of it. And that's why I'm doing this also, is because I thought I have to do this stuff when I'm like fixed or something. Well, guess what? I don't know if that's going to ever happen. But I do know that I'm at least trying. I'm working on it. I'm in the process of, and I'm continuing. Why am I doing it? Because I don't have a choice. Because I no longer, the way I'm living, or the way I have lived as a survivor, no longer serves me. That way it doesn't serve me today. Jumping to another job, jumping to another relationship, jumping to whatever it is, was my anxiety, and still is in some ways. I still have a hard time sitting down and being focused. Why do you think I do these breathing exercises and all of this stuff? Because I need it for myself. And what we learn, we teach, right? That's how it works. So my affirmation for today is also, I am exactly where I need to be, and I possess everything required for this day. I used to have the affirmation, I have all that I need to do today with myself, for everyone, everything, and all that I'm doing. So I used to have that affirmation always, because I used to feel like sometimes I didn't have the energy to do it all. But when I said that, I'm where I need to be, I'm in the right place at the right time, and everything is happening in a way, in its own way, and it's happening. So I'm going to get everything done no matter what's going on around me. And so I have that. And also that piece of knowing that when we're in transition of emotional, spiritual empowerment, whether it's for ourselves or others, watching my brother die was profound. I mean, like I said, the day he was dying, Sandy Duncan came, she sang him, "When You Wish Upon a Star." And I'm just sitting there watching that, and I'm just crying my eyes out. And my father's there, and because he loved Peter Pan. I mean, I never forget that. And Mary Martin, or not Mary, well, Mary Martin did the original, but Sandy Duncan was in that one. And but having the energetic and spiritual energy to watch that, to engage with it, to be there with it for that moment, and to have those tears in the moment. It was touching, heartbreaking, and sad and beautiful at the same time. I don't know how to otherwise word that, but I offer love and spiritual comfort to those I care about, trusting in the natural timing of life and release is another affirmation of knowing that we have no control over our loved ones, their death, their life, whatever they do. I had no control over my mother's addiction to food or what she died of. I haven't even really talked about that too much yet, but that is, I think, my next podcast. But finding freedom through my own compassion. That's how I learned. I learned about life, love, and myself through other people. Why? Why did I have to do that? Because it was easier. It was easier to do that. I could actually give to somebody else easier than I could give to me. Of course. It's just makes, it's a no-brainer, right? So, but it's through that we receive the grace and we receive the blessings of that. And, and that's sort of where I'm going to wrap this up, because I give from a place of love, openly receive the peace that flows and follows compassionate service. I mean, I didn't think about it before, but I freely gave, and I don't know if I had enough to give as it was, but I gave, not because I was more full than they were or anything else. It was because I wanted to. I wanted to. It was a feeling of connection, a feeling of passing on and helping other people, because I've seen so much, and that's why I've got to share this. So it's not about really, and in the end, it is about the truth of unconditional love. And no matter the crisis, no matter the dysfunction, the current pain, the anchor or existence of love, we're surrounded by guardian energies and love, and recognizing that truth strips away the internal armor that helps our spirit. I just had a dream about that not too long ago. But the reason I talk about this again is because watching my brother die, watching him in my journey tell me, "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm okay." And I said, "Are you happy?" "Oh, yes." He goes, "I'm very happy. I'm very happy with these diamonds, rubies, emeralds." And so in that spiritual level of healing that I saw him, I saw it, I felt it, I believed it, I heard it. It was all the affirmations I needed to understand it. And so I was able to understand that though I don't still understand all of it, I understand there's a spiritual transfer, that we do go somewhere, something does happen, and it's not just for nothing. I'm deeply and conditionally loved. I deserve to live a joyous life aligned with my highest potential. And I think that's the piece that I've been missing my whole life, is that I've been running around trying to find it out there, outside, out there, up there, out there, down there, wherever you think. It doesn't exist out there. It's all in here. It's all inside of us that the potential is. And it's the seeds that we plant that we're able to harvest. But only we can do it. Not your mother, not your father, not your grandmother, not your aunt, not your uncle, not all the ancestors, although it would be nice if they did help out sometimes. But I think that when we're ready for that abundance and that level of joy to come to us, it automatically comes in. And you can't hold it back from yourself. You can't hold it back. Your higher power can't hold it back from you. Your guardian angels or higher spirits or spirits in human form, they cannot keep anything from you. So it's really about understanding that, and to know, to really hear this, that you are loved, unconditionally loved, whether it's in your family, from some other family, from your friends, from other people, from God, from spirit, from the universe. We are unconditionally loved. We all deserve to live a joyous life. And we all deserve to find our potential. You know, I didn't get to be 70 to think about, what did I miss? Why am I still running around in survival mode when I've way past survived? But my mind doesn't know it, and my body doesn't know it. My spirit thinks it knows it a little bit, but we're still finding out. We're still accepting and integrating that mind, body, and spirit. And because when I was sick, I tried to do all the stuff, it was useless. It was almost like the spirit energy that I tried to connect with was dead. It wasn't really. It was my perception of it, because I didn't have the energy to connect with it. And I think that is another part of what I realized about cancer is that it leaves you feeling depleted and empty. So it really is, it's our own job to start filling ourselves back up with what we forgot, because chemo, Lupron, anything that takes away your clarity of thought, who you are, your self-esteem, all that stuff messes up with us. It just messes us. Know that you are loved no matter what's going on today, no matter anything else that's happening. You are loved, and just never forget it. I'll remember hearing this guy talking about that in a meeting. You are loved. You are loved, and never forget it. That's my favorite line I've heard so far at a closing of a meeting, and I'm like, you know, that's the truth, and you are. Thanks for listening. I hope that something happened for you today. If it didn't, find your way, find your own path, create your path, find what leads you forward and where you're inspired. We all have it. Bye-bye.